What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. One of my sponsors, Steel Supplements, who today, if you are a veteran, for Veterans Day, will give you 30% off. I'm also a Webull preferred influencer. Use the link in the pinned comment, deposit in my money. They'll give you 2 free shares, but only for about the next 4 days. And ground floor, guys, real estate investing is the #1 way in America to obtain wealth. They've got a great promotion for you. Use my link, deposit in my money. They'll give you $10 for free. I'd rather you give $10 right now to anyone than motorsports games. I want you to understand, I'm going to show you in this video, I know a lot of you are here for Madden, but watch this whole video. This is the most broken gameplay I've ever seen in my life. It's hard to describe how broken it is, but one of the things that does work in this game is the paint booth, and that's why it astonishes me that they are literally sitting here selling a throwback pack of 80 cars, 80 DLC paint schemes for $14.99. Now, that's in line with what companies charge, but the fact they're working on this when they have a functioning paint booth and the rest of the game is just in shambles astonishes me. So there's a couple things that I have to preface with this clip. Number one, there is a glitch in the game at Bristol where you don't start when you are supposed to, okay? So there is the start-finish line. We're going into lap 1. So this does something strange to my controller every single time. I think to a degree, if you've ever had a calibration of your controller be off, where, you know, maybe you start the console and you have the analog stick all the way to the left, and then the game registers that all the way to the left is center. That's almost how this game reacts. You don't know when you get control of the car. Now, there are setups which should never be used with a joystick that can kind of help steer the car to the left with caster or camber, but you always have to counter steer them, and that's why it's imperative to not do that with a joystick, because counter steering with a joystick is just moving the stick back and forth. So it takes me, once I have control of the car, a minute here to understand that my car is actually pulling to the right, which is against the banking, which I don't understand how something like this could happen. It's, I don't want to say impossible to drive, but it's not going to matter in a moment. So again, I'm going to stress to you, just look at what's happening here. They're putting paint schemes together to sell for $14.99. So let's also understand that as of this moment, I am in, I believe, 38th position. We are going to now run a couple laps where I pass Car Mountain several times, yet I'm not immediately given the lead. I believe Eric Amarola is the only car that is not stuck other than myself in Car Mountain, and I am continuing to make laps. What's interesting about this is the cars that try to get out of Car Mountain have a major problem. So for some, they're trying to back up the track. I believe here I make it interesting, and I just, you know, plow into Car Mountain, you know, because at this point I'm trying to amuse myself just a bit. I don't want to drive into it. If I drive into it, I might not be able to get out of it. So you almost find yourself on this empty track, and now I'm only in 3rd, by the way. We're on lap 4. I'm only 3rd, but I've passed this mountain of cars. Now I'm showing off. I'm spinning through Car Mountain just to show to you guys unbelievable driving skills. So I believe at this point, Eric Amarola gets through, and you start to look back at cars and see how they navigate, because it's obviously more fun than playing this broken game. And, you know, you want to see what happens. You know, you're coming up on this just mound of cars, and cars are driving backwards and driving up the track, and you just want to make sure, hey, is everybody back there getting through? Like, can I see, like, 2 cars just orbit each other when they hit as if gravity does not exist on planet Bristol? So as we come through here, we're starting, at least you would think, to kind of free things up. But Ryan Newman is trying to drive up the track, and he starts to create further issues where now, when cars get on their racing lines and they're too wide, they can't fit through there. So they start to pile in even more. The other thing is, I'm still trying to digest how my car handles pulling to the right. So it's just such a mess of a game. I don't know how anyone could enjoy this. I mean, I'm playing this more for amusement than actual gaming, right? So there's no other way I could look at this and say, oh, this is an arcade game, this is a sim game. Now I'm 3 wide, which I don't know why. So I come down here, and I haven't been around cars. Like, I don't mean to drive into someone. I'm actually trying to race, you know, when I have the rare opportunity to race. When this isn't happening, I'm trying to race to a point of enjoyment, but When you have no idea how your car is going to handle, that nearly becomes improbable. So, continuing to make laps here, obviously, if you didn't know, the spotter says new leader, which is absolutely preposterous when you're passing cars this way. I just don't understand. I really don't understand. And, you know, what do you say to this? Like, it's worried about me driving the wrong way with a black flag, okay? But it's not concerned that there's been a mountain of cars in turn 3 for 11 laps. Cautions don't work. I mean, if this is going to bring out a caution, what is? And just as we close this out and you think it can't get any worse, prepare yourself, it's about to. So I come through here, I kind of get shoved down, and the game registers that I'm on frigging pit road. And it drives me into pit lane, and the in-game commentary says the leader is pitting. And I have no control over the car. And now it drives straight up the track, and it noses into the wall, and then it's going to go back down the track. And it's just like, why? The leader is on pit road. I mean, I'm the leader. I'm not on pit road, and I didn't want to be there, but I had no other choice. There's other cars that got stuck on pit lane. And I want you to understand that in the face of all this, they're literally sitting there painting Darrell Waltrip cars. Darrell Waltrip was one of the best Bristol drivers there was. So any pure NASCAR fan would want to take a Darrell Waltrip car to Bristol and dominate, right? That's what a purist would want. Yet when you go to this track, it's one of the most broken tracks in the game. There's a couple tracks as a NASCAR fan that you probably just want to go to, right? You know, Bristol is one of them. Bristol for a very long time was a track that sold out, right? Night race, historic moments. When you load up the game, right, a developer should be cognitive enough with their audience to say, okay, Daytona, Bristol, Talladega, those are going to be tracks a lot of people go to. Let's make sure those are like the best ones. That way, if that's all they race, they have a great opinion of our game. We're not going to worry so much about, Pocono, right? We're not going to worry so much about New Hampshire. But we really need to make sure that we're driving the nail through the board when it comes to Bristol, Talladega, and Daytona. I started at Dover because I know just as a racer, Dover is a very good track to get a baseline of how broken a game is, and I thought I saw the worst that the game had to offer, but I really didn't know how bad it was until I got to Bristol, and I can't imagine spending an extra $15 to get a Darrell Waltrip paint scheme is going to make this better, and I also can't imagine that they're going to be able to fix all of this in a patch, because this is a multiple-year development cycle to get these issues figured out. Love to know your guys' thoughts on Car Mountain. Appreciate you checking this out. And when a game plays like this, I literally can boot it up for 10 minutes and have content for 10 days because it's that bad. And I will always be able to be back in the week and probably live streaming on Sunday at Kansas Speedway with more coming.